guys, this is a challenge lock from West Coast Picks, that coffin full of challenge locks. There you go. This is a arrow, and it is a challenge lock. And this was pinned up by Harley himself, and he calls it the Big Easy. And this is what the bitting looks like. It is an arrow. You can see it on the key right there. And I'm surprised, quite honestly, about the bitting. It doesn't look to be too radical. I mean, they're not all the same, but they're very, very close, which is kind of unusual for a challenge lock, but he must be pretty confident. It's hard to insert, but it does work very, very smoothly. So let's see what we got in here. He's got confident enough to use such similar bitting. I bet there's some kind of other alien technology that Harley put up inside of there. We'll find out in a minute. Get this dude clamped nice and tight. And I just want to make sure that the core still turns. Sometimes I get them too tight. Get in there. Okay, I'm going to even give it another turn because that was even moving on me. All right, that seems to be all right. All right, I am going to try a standard hook, and I'll use top of the keyway. And it's a nice wide, I should show you, it's a pretty nice wide keyway. Let me zoom in just a bit so you can see what I'm talking about here. I can either work, let me see if I can probably work from the bottom. And if that doesn't work, I can work from this ledge and go up at an angle to access those pins. So I'm going to try it from the bottom, and if it doesn't work, then we will move to the side. All right, all the way in. And that seems to be a little tight. That was pin 3. I got just one click on him, but I don't think I'm going to go from that ledge, I think. Oh, there's pin 1. Got a little counter rotation and got a click, and I think we're good. Pin 2, can't get under him. Okay, also again counter rotation. Got a little click. Okay, I'm betting already based on pin 1 and pin 2. We're looking at some serrateds here. Pin 4. Very light tension, because with serrated, if we put too much, that was pin 3, I got to click. Too much tension, we're going to seize it up. Pin 2 again, so that's the second time I've picked him. Pin 1 is good. Little counter rotation there on 2 again. So if I pick him this time, that'll be the 3rd time. So that tells me he's got 3 ledges. There we go. Got a very slight click and some little turn on the core. I'm on 6, counter rotation, very slight. Ooh, I'm losing my tension wrench. I think we got 6. That was 2 again, so that's like the 4th time, but he's not resetting, so it's different level. Oh, that was 2 again, and I got to open. So there's like 4 different cuts, and I believe he's probably serrated. A lot of crunching going on inside of this lock. I'm going to take a chance here and probably ruin a perfectly good video on a challenge lock. Probably never be able to get them open again, but let's try it anyway. I'm going to try. Now, first of all, let me give you my theory. Even with security pins, when you have bitting that's this similar, even with security pins, if you keep the tension very, very light, you got a good chance of raking them, even if they're serrated or even if they're spools. If you use too much tension, then you're going to be totally hosed. I'm going to try bottom of the keyway and see if we can make it work here. Maybe not this one. Let's try it with a medium one. That ought to work. All right, there is a pick that's designed for best locks, which is very, very similar to arrow locks in terms of quality and pin type. And that is this one. This is a Sparrows, they call it the Worm. It looks like a Bogota, but kind of shorter profile, a little more rounded off. And I'm going to move this so I can get a good swing on the pick. I'm going to just put the pick all the way and apply very, very light tension, and then just see if I can rake them. They are security pins, and we're going to, I don't have any clue what's in here, guys. Probably making a fool of myself, but we are going to gut it. And just very light tension to see if we can get this thing to cooperate. Reset it. Obviously that's not going to work. I think I used too much tension. I was going from the bottom. So let me try from the side this time. And I got a good fault set going. And the vise is sitting, I think it's sitting on the key or something there, but... Okay, we're stuck on the fault set, so it's not going to work. It's probably, again, it's aerated. So let's try it one more time before I declare failure. But we are very close. Again, I got a very deep fault set, but I'm not going to hit it with the pressure this time. I'm just going to keep raking until we get another fail or we get an open. I can't believe we're so close. And there we go. All right, I can't believe it took that long, Bill. Man, it seems like with that similar bidding, it ought to have happened much quicker. Now I'm going to try from the side and really put it to it. Now I got a good fault set, and there we got a second open. So I was trying to go from the bottom. I was probably hitting that warding in the middle, but that's how quick it can be, even with security pins. Let's take a look and see what we got inside of this thing. Let me back out. All right, we do have a key. I'm not going to worry about locking it up. And let's just get that off of there. Looks to be just a standard commercial C-clip, not made for locks, but it does work. All right, pin tray. Key. And let me get a solid plug. Let's talk about tailpieces. All right, you notice that we got, this is kind of a messed up tailpiece, and if I use a standard plug, like a solid core on it, as soon as we push it in there, the pins are going to fall down in that groove, and we're really going to make a mess of things. Some of your followers are hollow, and I've stuck a Kleenex down in there to keep the pins from going too far, but the reason they're hollow is not so that the pins can fall through and embarrass me while we got it, but it's really to fit over that hollow or smaller part of the tailpiece. And that way we don't have that big gap. We kind of bridge that gap, and theoretically it'll slide right in there like that, and out it comes. No spillage. So I had a lot of questions lately about hollow tailpieces. When I started complaining about some of the followers, you guys were asking, why do they even make them like that? And that's why. That's twice I dropped that guy. That's odd. Oh, look, there's a one with all the serrations on it. This one is a T-pin. See him popping out of there. And number 6. Wow, all of these are handmade. Every single one of them. Lots of grooves on there. And let's take a look at this. I'm seeing 4 that are threaded. 1, 3, 4, and 6. And that makes perfect sense when you look at these handmade key pins. All of them have serrations on them. All right, let's take a look upstairs. And this is where I get embarrassed with the pin falling out. Tweezers, here we go. All right, see what we got here. See if I can catch him. All right, we have a T-pin. He had the T-pin pointing up and is a spool. Isn't that cool? All right, let me get that spring out of there. A little steel spring. I demagnetized my tweezers, and now's the time I need them. All right, the next one is another T-pin. You see him jumping up there? That way, maybe you can help me keep an eye on him when he finally comes out. He's massive. Look at all the grooves on that thing. My goodness. And he's a 2-piecer. Check that out. All right. That's why number 2 was so tricky. All right, number 3. All right, I'm trying to work through the camera, and that's not working so good. Another T-pin. I believe this also is a 2-part pin. Yes, he is. We'll take him apart in a little while. Next one, another 2-part pin. These are getting uglier and harder to pick up with tweezers. All right, get that spring out of the way. Very long spring. Number 2 had a little copper. Try to be neat. Somebody went to a lot of trouble to put this lock together. The least I can do is take my time with it. Okay, number 3 has a steel spring. Number 4 we got. Okay, we're on pin 5. Standard. Didn't expect that. And steel spring, little thin one. Last but not least, get my tweezers, trying to hold them in there. He is a spool. I don't think there's anything else to see. Another one of these really tight springs. And threading on the inside of here. Let's see what we got. No threading. Nothing on the Bible. It's standard. And you can see it's still got the factory crimping on it. So no modifications in there at all. All right, let's take a little bit closer look at these. I'm going to zoom in so I can use both hands to kind of keep the stuff under control. Just a little bit. We have a 2-part pin here. And at first I thought this was a T-pin. And that's what we're looking at. And if you look very closely at this guy, with my bare eyes, it looks like, come on, focus. Even the inside one looks like it's almost serrated. I don't know if that's just a defect of manufacture or if it was intended to give you that extra crunchiness. Pin number 3 also looks like a 2-parter. There he's coming apart. Pin and pin. Pin number 4 also pin and pin, but this is just a tiny little thing, and I'm going to have to use the tweezers on him. Just very, very, oh man. I'm going to drop him. Anyway, fellas, that's what he looks like. I don't even know how you go about machining something like that. Somebody's got some skill, and it's not me. Standard pin, and then the last one is just a standard spool. Nothing really special about that guy compared to all of his brothers in there. So there you go. West Coast picks. This did not deserve to be raked. You put a lot of work into this, and at this point I really wish I hadn't raked it to show these guys how to do it. But when the pinning is like that, when your bitting is like that on a key, sometimes you can just rake it. Even with sophisticated, very intricate pinning like this, you can do that. Anyway, fellas, thanks for your time. Stay safe, stay legal. Harley, thanks for all the hard work you put in this lock. This is a great lock. Thanks, guys.